Facebook, the hype over this one is this is out of control, really. I mean, you have IPOs before. This one is going to be the most hyped IPO. Might be one of the biggest IPOs also, might not be. Mark Hulbert, though, is here to tell us exactly how overpriced this one is. Mark, how are you today?
Okay, how are you?
We're getting by, 2/3 of the way through the show, right? I think we're going to make it to the end. Let's talk about Facebook for a second. The hype over this one is really into overdrive. How much is that affecting the value?
Well, of course, we don't really know for sure what its offering price is, but the report that it could be the valuation of the company at the IPO offer price could be as much as $100 billion. And if it does come anywhere close to that, its valuation relative to looking at it as a multiple of sales would be far higher than comparable IPOs in the past.
And Mark, so that immediately vaults them into the ranks of among the 20th biggest companies, but your argument is they don't deserve this, right? Tell us why.
Well, what I did is, and I want to give credit to a professor, his name is Jay Ritter. He's probably one of the leading experts in academia on the IPO market. He has an extensive database going back to 1975 of all the IPOs in this country. And because there's a big segmentation in the IPO market between the tiniest one and the big companies, and the Facebook IPO clearly one of the bigger ones.
Mark? There you go.
Yeah.
Hi. Keep going, sir. You're doing great.
Okay. Well, so because there's a big segmentation in the IPO market between the tiniest IPOs and the biggest ones, he segmented the market into those that the market cap was at least $400 million in 2011 dollars, and also those that had substantial sales, like Facebook already does. And if you look at it in those terms, the multiple of sales on average among those companies is only 1-to-1. So basically, they came to market asking for a valuation that was equal to about 1-to-1. And if you look at Facebook, if it comes in at $100 billion, it's going to be about 26-to-1.
And
so it's way overvalued.
Yeah, and it puts them way above what Google's value on this scale was when they went to IPO, right?
Well, that's right. In fact, Google's was around 8.7-to-1. So, you know, even if we compare to Google, which a lot of people are trying to compare Facebook's to Google, Facebook's price-to-sales ratio is going to be 3 times as great as Google's. And, of course, everyone would love to do anywhere near as close to Google's. But in order to do that, Facebook is basically going to have either a profit margin that's 3 times greater than Google or have revenue growth that's that much greater, or both. And just asking for that's too much, I think.
Yeah, you know, and as daunting as that is, realistically, do you still think that this IPO is going to do great business on the first day? Do you think the investors are going to love it? All the hype is going to fill in?
First day,
regardless of...
I want to know about second day.
I want to know about 3 months down the road, really. But do you think this IPO is really just going to be one of these overhyped, insane affairs?
Well, that's all of the buildup is, of course, building for precisely that. And in fact, there's this whole game with price, giving out huge shares allotments to the lead underwriters and so forth, intentionally underpricing the IPO in order to gain the prestige of these underwriters who are willing to peddle it around. Look at what happened. The lead underwriter, Morgan Stanley, shares are up a big in the market this morning, just on the news that it's going to be the lead underwriter. Well, the reason that the market is bidding up Morgan Stanley shares, it's not just for reputation value. It's because it's worth a heck of a lot of money to get a huge allotment of shares that are undervalued. Yeah. And that's not undervalued over 3 months or over a couple of years. It's just exactly as you point out. It's undervalued for that first pop.
Yeah, right, and look how Morgan Stanley priced LinkedIn. So, Mark, I think you make a very good point. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark, we have to leave it there. Thank you for your time, sir.